Welcome to the Heart of Transformation book summary, written by Michael J. Leckie. The name of the book that we have today is The Heart of Transformation. And the subtitle of this book is Build the Human Capabilities that Change Organizations for Good. What's it about? This book is a how-to guide for changing an organization. And it contains, it focuses on six specific capabilities that leaders can adapt to meet the demands of the 21st century. Currently we are in the 21st century. So what are the six specific capabilities that leaders can adapt? Without any delay, let's get started. The first capability that we need to learn is explore before executing. Explore before executing. So let us see what's in it. Technology, especially digital technology, has changed the way we do the business. Many of the old rules of the game no longer apply. If one rule of the business worked in the long run, means long ago at 1990s, that rule of the game is not working right now. Unfortunately, most organizations are still abiding those old rules, too stubborn and too short-sighted for the change of direction. Just consider, let us take an example, General Electric. This is a company. For more than a century, it was a stalwart of the economy, a titan of American industry that seemed untouchable. Then, in a few short years, it was shaken to its core and needed to rebuild from the bottom up, like from the scratch. The case of the General Electric illustrates us just how fickle the modern economy can be. That's how the book, The Heart of Transformation, is here to help us. Let us explore how organization can use these six transformative capabilities to build resilience in the fast-paced and unpredictable nature of this new era, that is digital transformation era, or digital transformation era. And let us learn how to incorporate these actions into your daily life through a series of questions that pertain to each capability. First step, what is the first step that you need to do is explore before executing. So how do you transform yourself for the better? The first step is to explore before execute. To be clear, there isn't anything wrong with executing directly. Execution simply means carrying out a plan or course of action. And every business relies on execution to some degree. But fixating on execution becomes a problem when the needs of an organization change. Suppose there is a demand in some particular area and you are directly executing in different area. So execution is all about sticking to the plan. So trouble arises when that plan that fixed yesterday's problems don't work for today's. If suppose you fixed some problem yesterday, but that is not working today, this will lead you to trouble. More specifically, leaders get stuck when they refuse to question whether once useful strategies are still viable. So the key lesson here is explore before executing. So this is where exploring comes in. You have to ask whether the systems and practices of old system will still work or not, or whether they need revising. It can be hard for leaders to challenge the ideas that they can once championed. But this kind of exploration is exactly the type of leadership that results in the transformation. So, what does exploring look like in practice? How do we explore? So, here are the 5 questions to ask yourself. Okay, I'm revealing the 5 questions to explore. Okay, first question is, what do you think? Write down, what do you think? This is the question. As simple as it is, this question activates the curiosity necessary for the transformation. What do you think? Second question, what are you assuming is true? All the assumptions shape many of our ideas. Laying them out in the open helps everyone better understand where stakeholders are coming from. So where stakeholders are coming from. So what are you assuming is true is the second question. And the third powerful question is, whose voice is missing? Whose voice is missing? This question takes aim at the echo chamber. It invites diversity of thoughts, like taking thoughts from each and different persons, which is more important than ever given the information many people occupy today. And the fourth question is, what is your third best idea? There is a method to this madness. Typically, the first answer people give the safe answer. Means first they will try to comfortable answer. Their second choice is usually just the first answer in different words. It's often not until the third best idea that people start thinking outside of the box. So ask yourself, what is your third best idea of the same solution or same challenge? And the fifth and final question is, what didn't you say that needs saying? What didn't you say that needs saying? This urges people to state the things that are uncomfortable or scary, but that need to be heard. Let me repeat the 5 questions. What do you think about this? Second question, what are you assuming? Is it true? Whose voice is missing? And the fourth question is, what is your third best idea? And fifth question is, what didn't you say that needs saying? Means what might be missed in looking all the angles. So these are the 5 questions that can help leaders explore before executing. And this will not only explore all the possibilities, it will explore the best ways to address rapidly changing problems before executing their plan of action. So now, second capability. Second capability is nothing but learn before knowing. Learn before knowing. Knowledge plays an important role in the organization, any organization. But Lecky argues that learning is more important, especially in the today's digital world. Learning is more important than the knowledge. So this shift from knowing to learning is a relatively new phenomenon. For previous generations, a worker's knowledge is what created value for a business. These knowledge workers, such as lawyers, doctors, and engineers, came to dominate the economy in the earlier days. First, they acquired specialized knowledge. Let us take an example. If a lawyer is there, he will know about all the law education. Doctors, they will do some courses, MBBS, FRCS, or all these things. They will acquire the specialized knowledge. Then they get a job and put that knowledge to use. But right now, the digital world has disrupted this paradigm. Nowadays, that knowledge that workers have when they have hired simply is not enough. If you see the current domination market domination. There are lakhs of engineers are coming out of the year. Out of them, only few thousands of the employees are getting job and their knowledge is getting utilized. The value of modern workers come from their ability to learn on the job. So ability to learn the new things is only key to sustain in the long run. The more digital technology speeds up the pace of innovation and change, the more learning workers will dominate organizations. So how exactly you can make the switch from knowledge worker to learning worker? Well, it may be obvious, but putting learning before knowing requires you to question what you think you know. Again, I'm going to give 5 questions to ask yourself how to shift from knowledge to learning. Okay. So let us start. First question. Who challenges my beliefs? Is the first question you need to ask yourself. Seek out people who will tell you when you are wrong. Give them permission to challenge you and thank them for their willingness to call you out. So first question, who challenges my beliefs? Find out the people who challenges your beliefs. Second question that you need to ask yourself is, how is my idea wrong? By asking how an idea is wrong, rather than if it is wrong, you preempt, means you can predict others from affirming your idea. While it's uncomfortable to have people point out where you have error, it is a necessary part of learning. So how is my idea wrong? You need to think in the worst case scenario. And the third question that you need to ask is, what is my blind spot? This question serves to pick up and patterns of error. If you are constantly overlooking one part of a problem, others are likely to spot where you have gone wrong and help you correct the course. The fourth question that I have from here is, when was I made a mistake? Or when was I got wrong output? When was I lost wrong? If it's been too long since you are wrong about something, chances are you are not getting quality feedback. Pointing to a specific mistake, acknowledge it out loud and learning from it will help you build trust and respect. The more you make wrong or the more you make mistakes, you will get quality feedback and you will get more things to learn. And fifth question, which is more powerful, am I okay with not knowing? This question is meant to foster humility. It's okay not to have the answers. It's also okay to move forward even when the ambiguity is present. Learning before knowing means having the agility to put a plan in place and then to alter the plan as you learn, move along the way. So 5 questions I'm repeating again. Who challenges my beliefs? Find out the people. How is my idea wrong? Find out the worst case scenario. Third question, what is my blind spot? Identify the patterns of error in the previous experience. Fourth question, when was I made a mistake last time? And fifth question, am I okay with not knowing? So let us move the third capability in the leadership journey. Change before protecting is the third one. It's perfectly natural to protect the things we care about. But if done improperly in an organization or in your life, protection can become a liability. Remember that protection can become a liability. In order to grow, in order to adapt, in order to improve in your life or in your career or in your business, what you need to do? Leaders or managers will to embrace change. They are always willing to change. and they always willing to embrace that change. So your change happens little by little. It will not happen all at a go and person by person. This kind of change is very hard and it requires us to accept the discomfort that comes along with it. But Lecky has laid out another series of questions to help facilitate the process. So change before protecting. For this capability, again, I'm going to give 5 questions. Okay. Ask yourself first question, what is the worst that could happen? If I take this decision, what is the worst case that could happen? When it comes to a new business idea, or when it comes to your new idea implementation in your life, the answer is usually that it won't work. Failure is never fun, but admitting the possibility of failing out loud can actually help change seem less daunting. So, what is the worst case that would happen if I take this decision? Second question, what is the cost of staying safe? Staying safe. What is the cost of staying safe? Of course, change is very risky, but maintaining the status quo can be risky too. Make a list of the positives that might be missed if you keep sticking to the old script. So what is the cost of staying safe? Means whatever you are living the life comfortably, what is the cost of it? And the third powerful question is, what am I afraid to do? This question is more personal. It focuses on what you as an individual are risking by making a change. Asking this helps reveal what you value and where your priorities lie. So what am I afraid to do? Ask yourself and find out all the fears out to change further. Fourth question, how can I lead out loud? Change requires leaders to embody their behavior they want to adapt. Change requires you to embody the behavior you want to acquire or you want to adapt. So find the best way to model the change you want, and others will be more likely to follow you. So how can I lead out loud? Means find out the person or find out the role model that you are dreaming for. Fifth question is, when did I last ask for help? There was a saying from the Strangest Secret, ask and it shall be given to you. Seek and you shall find. Knock and it shall be opened unto you. To truly know if you have changed or not, you need to enlist the help for others, or you need to enlist the help of others. Let us take an example. Getting a feedback is a great way to measure if substantive change has taken place, or if your words need to be backed by more action. So let me repeat the 5 questions in this change capability. What's the worst that could happen? What's the cost of staying safe? What am I afraid to do? How can I lead out loud? When did I last ask for help? Now let us go for the 4th capability of leadership journey, the heart of transformation, which is nothing but find the path before following it. What is the 4th one? Find the path before following it. We will examine the virtue of finding a path before following path. So to illustrate what this looked like in practical, let us take an example. Abitibi. This is an paper manufacturer. Abitibi, A-B-I-T-I-B-I, Abitibi. Lecky was working at the company in the 1990s, Abitibi, when it suddenly fell into the financial hardship. It needed to cut costs by 10% fast. The company's first impulse was to evaluate spending across every team and institute a budget that detailed how money how money should spend down to the dollar. Means development team, sales team, management team, they find out each and every team how much budget they are putting into, and they are cutting costs everywhere 10% down. Instead of this top-down approach, however, the company chose a different tactic. Leadership instructed each team to cut their costs by 10%, but left the details up to the team. In other words, it let them find their own path to the 10% target. And it worked. By the next quarter, expenses had plummeted by 15%. Now let's turn to the questions, 5 questions again, that you can ask to find the path before following the path. First question is, where are we really going? So what is your destination is the first question. The North Star that your company is trying to achieve, not simply through words, but by acting on its values. So first question is, where are you heading to? Second question is, what is most important? This question speaks to the tactic, assumptions of an organization or of yourself. The unspoken parts that makes a culture. What is most important right now? Then the third powerful question is this who we are? Is this who you want to become? It's a way of checking in to ensure that your day-to-day activities, that daily actions are getting you closer to your North Star. And the fourth question is, who would know best? If suppose I'm taking this decision, on this particular decision, who would know this best? It's important to ask the right people for help, those who might have special insight into a subject. You need to always consider the subject experts, not the people who are the generalists. And the fifth question is, can we discuss our differences? There is no way around the fact that disagreements are going to happen. This question opens the door to awkward or uncomfortable conversations that need to be had. And another bonus question is that, what am I hiding from you? This is a question to ask yourself, what am I hiding from you? If something feels off with a decision you have made, try to explore what's causing your inner turmoil in your brain and confront it head on. So let me repeat all the 6 questions. Where are you heading on? Or where is your destination? Second question, what is most important right now? Third question, is this who you want to become? Fourth question, who would know this very best? Fifth question, can we discuss our differences? And sixth question is, what am I hiding from you? It is an internal personal question. So this will help you to find the path before following the path. Let us move on to the fifth capability that leadership journey needs. Innovate before replicate. Every person in the life, every person in the world who wants to become a leader needs to innovate. But the truth is, most leaders don't innovate at all or even try to innovate. They mostly focus on replicating or duplicating the others and scaling what works. This obsession with replicating and scaling is a double-edged sword. Like success is a double-edged sword. It usually works for a while, for a short term, but then it doesn't work. And businesses get stuck replicating a business plan that's no longer useful. So how can you put innovating before replicating into the daily practice? By learning from your mistakes and by playing the long game. Let us take an example. You all familiarly known what I am going to say about. Just consider Amazon. Before taking the company public, Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, laid out his plan for the company to lose money for at least 5 years. This is a shocking news. Jeff Bezos laid out his plan for the company to lose money for at least 5 years. The company needed to gain market share and get to know what customers wanted through trial and error method. Lot of trial and error method put for 5 years. The shareholders were rewarded in the long run. Not every company can be Amazon. Still, learning from failure and adapting a long-term strategy are tenets of true innovation. Here are some questions that can guide you along the way. Again, 5 questions for innovation rather than duplicating others. First question you need to do is, what have I learned from my failures? Everyone do failures, everyone come across failures, but learning from failures is only few people take it forward. Make a list of your failures, all the failures, and try to identify the patterns in them. That way, you can make a concerted effort to avoid those same mistakes in the upcoming future. So what I have learned from my mistakes, or what I have learned from my failures. Second, can I stomach the long game? Second question is, can I stomach the long game? It's hard to adapt a long-term strategy, especially given the short-term motives of the many shareholders. This question helps you acknowledge the costs of the long game and assess whether you are willing to pay them for the long run or not. And the third powerful question is, what is the cost of replicating our success? This question addresses the opportunity cost of replication. Means if someone like you came in the future, just replicating who are you or who you are. When you advise workers to simply replicate a strategy, you are basically telling them not to bother coming up with the better ideas. Fourth question that I have for you is, how can I stop being the center of the world? How can I stop being the center of the world? Looking at problems from the perspective of others is hard. It's also worthwhile and necessary. So how can I stop being center of the world? You need to spread along the world. Fifth question is, how would I disrupt me? This is one of the powerful question. How would I disrupt me? Consider from your competitor's perspective how you might be weak or vulnerable. By being proactive, you can identify and strengthen your weaknesses before others take advantage of them. So let me repeat 5 questions. In innovation, what I have learned from my failures? Can I stomach the long game? What is the cost of replicating my success? How can I stop being the center of the world? How would I disrupt myself? These are the 5 questions which helps you to innovate rather than replicating. And the final 6th capability that we need to learn here is humanize before organize. Humanize before organize. So this approach is all about the way you treat people in your life, the way you treat people in your organization. Specifically, it's about treating your family, treating your colleagues, or treating your relatives. Every organization has defined roles from entry-level workers to the CEO. In the same way, in your family, from your small kid to the elder persons. So the trouble here is people often outgrow their role and become capable of offering a lot more. But because doing so might violate their roles specifications, they usually just put their head down. This is a huge missed opportunity to get the best out of your team or your family. So let us see again 5 questions to humanize before organizing. What are the 5 questions that can help you put humanizing before organizing? First question, when are you at your best? What were your best moments? This question gives you an idea of when and where people are most productive in a day. So let us take an example of yesterday. What were the moments that you performed very best? When are you at your best? The second question that you need to humanize is, how will you know when things have started to go sideways? Any relationship has the potential to veer off course. Means they has to go, or they might come back, there might be setbacks, there might be challenges. And when things go wrong, shame usually starts to creep in. Means when you are not doing the right things in the relationships, usually your relatives might shame you, or your relatives might blame you. In the same way, from the organization, your manager might blame you. Recognizing this advancedly, preemptively, and out loud can mitigate the shame and help you improve the situation. So second question is, how will you know when the things have started to go sideways? And the third question you need to ask is, how could you work better together? How could you work better together with your family member or with your colleague? As obvious this question may seem, it's one of the most vital questions. It gives both the parties permission to alter their working dynamic for the better. And the fourth important question is, what's most important to you? Understanding people's motivations can help you relate to them better. In turn, this can help foster a better working relationship. What's most important to you? And the fifth question, what do you want from me? What do you want from me? Asking this question earnestly and with genuine curiosity can go a long way toward humanizing a workplace relationship. Let me repeat the 5 questions. Where are you at your best? Consider your yesterday's previous day work from starting 12 a.m. to 12 p.m. or 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. Where are you at your best? Second question, how will you know when things have started to go sideways? And how could you work better together? What's most important to you? And fifth one, what do you want from me? By asking these questions, you will identify how to humanize before organizing. So these are the 6 capabilities that can help you to transform further level. So what are the 6 steps, 6 capabilities? Explore before execute, learn before knowing, change before protecting, find the path before following, innovate before replicating, and sixth one, humanize before organizing. So this is a wonderful book summary. We'll come up with another book summary.